Everything changes when love finally breaks. The trailer for The Summer I Turned Pretty Season 3 Episode 7 doesn't just tease drama, it shatters the fragile bond holding Belly, Jeremiah, and Conrad together. For weeks, Jeremiah has fought to believe that Belly's heart truly belonged to him, but now the cracks are too deep to ignore. The silence, the glances, the hesitation, every sign points back to Conrad. And in Episode 7, Jeremiah is pushed to his breaking point, leading to the shocking breakup that fans have feared, and secretly expected, all along. The story of Belly and Jeremiah was built on the promise of stability. After years of heartbreak. With Conrad, Belly turned toward the boy who had always stayed, the one who offered her warmth, safety, and the illusion of a love without complications. Jeremiah was never just her boyfriend, he was the promise of a future without pain. Together, they planned a wedding, spoke about houses, painted a picture of a life they thought they could control. But love cannot be forced into neat boxes, and every moment with Conrad has reminded Belly that the past she thought she buried is still alive. The trailer for Episode 7 makes this impossible to ignore. What begins as Jeremiah's quiet patience finally transforms into a storm of jealousy, regret, and heartbreak. From the very first episode of this season, he has been watching Belly carefully, noticing every pause when Conrad's name is mentioned, every glance that lingers too long, every hesitation when their future together is discussed. Jeremiah tried to push it aside, to convince himself that Belly chose him, not by default, but because she truly wanted him. Yet the look on Belly's face in Episode 6, the way her silence answered questions she didn't dare speak aloud, was a wound too deep to ignore. For Jeremiah, that silence screamed louder than words, and Episode 7 shows us how that silence turns into the beginning of the end. The tension has always been more than just about Belly's love. For Jeremiah, it's about years of standing in Conrad's shadow. Conrad was the first love, the one Belly could never truly forget. He was the boy who carried the weight of his family's pain, the one Susanna adored, the one Laurel confided in, the one who always seemed untouchable in ways Jeremiah could never replicate. To fall in love with the same girl as his brother was never just about romance, it was about validation. Jeremiah wanted to be enough, to finally prove that he wasn't second best, that he could be the one chosen. But deep inside, he has always feared the truth, that Belly's heart belonged to Conrad long before she gave Jeremiah her hand. And now, in Episode 7, that fear finally catches up with him. The trailer hints at this confrontation, showing us Jeremiah's breaking point. His forced smiles, his discomfort when Conrad is near, and his quiet patience are no longer enough to mask the storm inside him. For Jeremiah, the jealousy he once tried to hide has grown into something he cannot control. And when jealousy mixes with love, the result is devastating. He is no longer simply the safe choice, he feels like the second choice, and that realization tears him apart. The breakup is not just about Belly's love, it is about Jeremiah finally facing the truth he tried to deny. The truth that Conrad has always been the part of Belly's heart he could never reach, but what makes this moment so powerful is not just Jeremiah's pain, it's the ripple effect it has on everyone around them. Laurel, who has always quietly observed, knows the truth of Belly's connection to Conrad. Her subtle doubts about Jeremiah's place in Belly's future now echo louder than ever. Taylor, who has watched the triangle unfold from the sidelines, holds the pieces of Belly's secret feelings and may be the one to finally force her best friend to face the truth. And Conrad, the boy who has kept his emotions buried, now stands at a crossroads. His silence has been his greatest weapon and his deepest curse. But when Jeremiah steps away, when Belly's engagement begins to crumble, Conrad can no longer hide behind the walls he built. Episode 7 sets the stage for the collapse of everything Belly has tried to build. Her attempt to move forward with Jeremiah, to rewrite her love story into something safer, begins to unravel. And Jeremiah's shocking breakup isn't just an ending, it is the beginning of a storm that will tear open every wound, every secret, and every unspoken feeling between the Fisher brothers and the girl who stands between them. The trailer makes one thing clear, this is not just another fight, another argument, or another pause in their love triangle. This is the breaking point. And once Jeremiah lets go, nothing will ever be the same again. Jeremiah's breakup isn't born from anger, it's born from exhaustion. For so long, he has been carrying the weight of proving himself to Belly, to his family, and even to himself. He wanted to be the one she could rely on, the one who stayed when Conrad pulled away, the one who turned her heartbreak into healing. But love built on comparison is fragile, and Jeremiah has lived every day with the shadow of Conrad pressed against his heart. When Belly looks at Conrad, it isn't something Jeremiah can ignore anymore. The way her eyes soften, the way her body hesitates as if her soul is caught in two places at once, it's enough to tear him apart inside. And episode 7 makes it clear, Jeremiah has reached the point where pretending is no longer possible. The trailer shows us glimpses of this unraveling. Jeremiah's voice cracks, his eyes no longer hide the pain, and the questions that have haunted him since the beginning finally slip out. Do you still love him? Was I ever really your first choice? Am I only here because you're afraid to lose me? These are not just questions, they are wounds. Each word cuts deeper into the fragile bond he has tried to protect, and each silence from Belly becomes an answer she never wanted to give. Jeremiah has always been the boy who tried to smile through his jealousy, to laugh away his insecurities, to believe that love was enough. But in episode 7, the smile breaks, the laughter fades, and what's left is a boy who realizes that the girl he loves has never been fully his. What makes this even more heartbreaking is that Jeremiah isn't wrong. Belly has been fighting her own silent war. On one side is Jeremiah, the safety, the comfort, the love she can explain. On the other side is Conrad, the passion, the longing, the love she can't erase no matter how hard she tries. Belly has spent the entire season convincing herself that choosing Jeremiah means choosing happiness. But every stolen glance with Conrad, every memory that lingers longer than it should, has proven that her heart refuses to follow logic. In the end, Jeremiah isn't just confronting Belly, he's confronting the truth she's been running from, and this truth doesn't just break Jeremiah. It threatens to break everything. For the Fisher brothers, this love triangle has never just been about romance. It's about their bond as brothers, a bond already tested by grief, loss, and the shadows of their mother's absence. Susanna's memory has always been the thread keeping them together, reminding them that family is worth protecting. But now, with Belly at the center of their unraveling, the bond begins to snap. Jeremiah's breakup is not just with Belly, it is with the dream of a family that could survive this love triangle. For Conrad, watching Jeremiah's heartbreak unfold will not just stir guilt, it will force him to face the consequences of his silence. The trailer hints at this shift. Jeremiah walking away doesn't just leave Belly standing in heartbreak, it leaves Conrad exposed. Because once Jeremiah steps aside, all that remains is the question Conrad has been avoiding for years: will he finally confess the truth? For too long, Conrad has lived with the belief that silence was the noble choice. That stepping back, allowing Jeremiah to step forward, was the way to protect everyone he loved. But episode 7 tears down that illusion. Jeremiah's decision to break things off isn't just an ending, it is an invitation for Conrad to step in. And that is where the suspense becomes unbearable. Imagine the weight of that moment, Jeremiah's voice still raw with pain, Belly's heart torn open by the confrontation, and Conrad standing there, holding the truth he has buried for years. Every word becomes dangerous, every silence becomes louder than thunder, and every choice threatens to shatter what's left of their family. This is not just about who Belly loves, it's about what love costs. Jeremiah loses his belief that he was enough. Belly loses the illusion that she could move forward without facing her past. And Conrad risks losing not just the girl he loves, but the brother he swore to protect. Episode 7 is shaping up to be the turning point of the entire season. Jeremiah's breakup is not just shocking because it ends an engagement, it's shocking because it exposes every secret, every fear, and every truth that has been simmering beneath the surface since the first summer. The safe choice, the patient fiancé, the boy who believed love could be simple, he's gone. And in his place is a Jeremiah who finally admits the one thing he has tried to ignore, that no matter how hard he fights, Belly's heart was never fully his. And once that truth is spoken, nothing, not weddings, not promises, not years of pretending, can hold this fragile love story together. Jeremiah's breakup may have shocked Belly, but what followed shocked the entire fandom even more. For the first time, Jeremiah seemed unwilling to fight for her. In earlier seasons, no matter how many obstacles came between them, Jeremiah always came back stronger, always trying to prove his love. But this time, he walked away, not because he didn't love her, but because he couldn't bear the pain of feeling like a second choice yet again. His silence spoke louder than any argument, leaving Belly torn apart inside. The trailer shows quick flashes of Belly sitting alone, her face filled with regret, almost as if she realizes she has made the same mistake twice, hurting the boy who loved her unconditionally. And that's where the story takes its most dramatic turn. A love once so warm now feels like a battlefield where no one wins, but the tension doesn't stop there. Conrad, who has been trying to stay strong in the background, suddenly finds himself caught in the middle once again. He never wanted to interfere with Belly and Jeremiah's relationship, yet his very presence continues to fuel Jeremiah's doubts. Viewers are left wondering, did Belly's actions prove Jeremiah right? Did she, deep down, never truly move on from Conrad? That question lingers like a storm cloud over the entire episode, building suspense for the emotional chaos that is about to unfold. The beauty of this storyline lies in its heartbreaking realism. It's not just about young love, but about the crushing weight of choices, timing, and words left unsaid. Jeremiah's breakup scene isn't only painful for Belly, it's also a cry of exhaustion, a breaking point where love collides with insecurity and past wounds. And Belly, who once believed she could balance her heart between two brothers, finally realizes that no matter what she chooses, someone she loves will be shattered. The trailer teases this inner war perfectly, showing us how close Belly is to losing not just Jeremiah, but the deep bond she once shared with both brothers. The suspense of episode 7 is not in grand events, but in the small, devastating moments, the way Jeremiah avoids Belly's eyes, the way Conrad struggles to say the right thing, and the way Belly breaks under the guilt of hurting them both. These details promise a storm of emotions, reminding the audience that sometimes the most powerful heartbreak comes not from betrayal, but from the painful truth that love alone may not be enough, that Jeremiah's decision to walk away doesn't just break Belly's heart, it tears apart the very foundation of the Fisher family. For so long, Jeremiah has been the one holding everyone together, the brother who smiled even in the darkest storms, the one who could never say no to love. But now, the weight of betrayal, insecurity, and heartbreak has changed him. His silence after the breakup speaks louder than words. No messages. No calls. No explanations. Just absence. And in that absence, everyone feels the void. Belly tries to convince herself that this is just temporary, that Jeremiah will return once he calms down, but deep inside, she fears this might be the end of their love story before it even had the chance to bloom. Conrad, on the other hand, is caught in a storm of guilt. He never wanted to be the reason Jeremiah walked away. He never wanted to stand between his brother and happiness. But the truth is undeniable, Belly has always been the girl who lived in the corners of his heart. He thought he had let her go, thought Jeremiah could give her the stability he never could. Yet the moment Jeremiah pulled back, it reopened Conrad's own buried feelings. And now, Conrad is left with a haunting question: did his quiet longing push Jeremiah to leave, or was this breakup always waiting to happen? The tension between the brothers grows heavier with each passing day, making even the smallest interactions sharp and filled with unspoken words. Belly is left torn between them, not because she wants to choose, but because her presence alone seems to fuel their silent war. Every look, every accidental touch, every half-finished sentence becomes a spark in this fragile house of emotions. The air is thick with memories that cannot be erased, and with futures that seem impossible to imagine. Jeremiah's absence feels like a shadow hovering over every moment, and Belly cannot escape the thought that perhaps she is the one responsible for breaking the bond between two brothers who once promised they would never let a girl come between them. But the pain doesn't stop with the three of them. Laurel watches from the sidelines, her mother's instincts screaming that this is not just young love, this is heartbreak deep enough to scar. Susanna's absence is felt more than ever. In this moment, because she was the glue that kept everyone grounded, the voice of reason that reminded them love is not about winning or losing, but about cherishing. Without her, every wound cuts deeper. And now, Laurel fears that Jeremiah's silence may not be just about love lost, but about him losing faith in everyone around him. As the episode builds, the question becomes unbearable: is Jeremiah truly gone for good, or is his silence a test, a desperate plea for someone to fight for him the way he has always fought for others? The audience is left on edge, watching the unraveling of a boy who once believed love could fix everything, and now wonders if love is the very thing that has broken him. The breakup is not just between Jeremiah and Belly, it's between Jeremiah and the world he once trusted with his whole heart. The heartbreak between Jeremiah and Belly now casts a long shadow over everything, but the story doesn't stop here, it only gets more complicated. While Jeremiah struggles silently with the pain of letting go, Belly is left standing in the middle of a storm she never asked for. Her heart still beats for Jeremiah, yet she knows his silence is louder than any words he could have spoken. And now, the question arises, will Belly respect Jeremiah's decision, or will she fight for the love she thought was unbreakable? The trailer leaves this question open, and that's what makes it even more haunting, because love, when broken, rarely returns the same. At the same time, Conrad's presence grows stronger. He has been the quiet figure in Belly's life, watching from the sidelines, carrying his own regrets and missed chances. For so long, he stepped back, letting Jeremiah and Belly explore their bond, but now, when Jeremiah pulls away, it feels as if fate itself is pulling Conrad and Belly closer. The trailer shows Conrad's eyes filled with a mix of longing and guilt, almost as if he knows the timing is cruel, yet destiny is opening a door he once thought was shut forever. The love triangle, once fragile, is now shaken to its very core. Jeremiah's shocking breakup creates ripples that affect not just the three of them, but everyone connected to their story. Susanna's memory hangs heavy over the summer house, her dream of seeing the kids happy together now broken into pieces. The family dinners, once filled with laughter, now carry an unspoken tension. Every glance, every silence, every forced smile hides the truth that nothing will ever be the same again. It's as if the breakup doesn't just separate two hearts, but cracks the foundation of the bond the entire group shares. And yet, even in this sadness, there is a dangerous sense of possibility. Belly may still ache for Jeremiah, but the door to Conrad's heart is opening wider. Will Belly step through it, knowing the pain it might cause? Will Jeremiah regret his decision once he sees Belly with someone else? Or will the three of them finally face the truth, that love can't exist without sacrifice, and sometimes sacrifice means losing the very person you can't live without? The trailer doesn't give answers, it gives us tension. It gives us pain. It gives us questions that keep us awake at night. And that's why episode 7 feels like it could be the turning point of the entire season, the episode that shifts everything and decides the fate of Belly's heart once and for all. But even after all the tears, all the anger, and all the unspoken words, there lingers a heavy silence that feels almost unbearable. Jeremie walks away, his heart shattered, but what about Belly? She stands frozen, unable to call out his name. Unable to chase him. This moment of stillness carries more weight than any argument because it reveals one painful truth: sometimes love alone is not enough to hold two people together. Sometimes, no matter how much you care, life demands choices that break you apart. The trailer leaves this haunting impression, and it's impossible not to wonder, is this truly the end of Jeremie and Belly's journey, or just a cruel chapter that will lead to something bigger? The suspense thickens as subtle hints in the trailer point toward new dynamics. Conrad, who has always been at the edge of Belly's decisions, watches from afar, his expression unreadable. Could this breakup open the door for him once again? Or will it push Belly into a place of self-discovery where she finally learns to choose herself over both brothers? Every glance, every pause, every cut in the trailer seems deliberate, as if the creators are teasing us with possibilities but refusing to hand over answers. This uncertainty is what keeps the audience restless, because when a love story is this tangled, nothing is ever truly final. What makes this breakup scene even more powerful is the quiet aftermath. The music fades into a soft melancholy, the kind that seeps into your soul and refuses to let go. Belly is shown standing by herself, looking lost, while Jeremie disappears into the distance. The camera doesn't need words, it tells us everything through their silence. And that silence screams louder than any declaration of love. It's the silence of regret, of missed chances, of bonds that might never heal. And yet, somewhere beneath the heartbreak, there is still a flicker of hope. Because if there's one thing this series has taught us, it's that love doesn't die easily. It hides, it changes, it hurts, but it always finds a way back when you least expect it. As the trailer cuts to black, we are left hanging on the edge of a cliff, desperate for the next episode. The breakup feels like a conclusion, but also like a beginning. It resets everything we thought we knew about Belly's relationships and opens the door to endless speculation. Will Jeremie return to fight for her? Will Conrad finally step forward when she needs someone the most? Or will Belly choose a new path entirely, one that doesn't involve either brother? The beauty of this moment lies in its uncertainty. It challenges us to imagine, to question, and to feel every ounce of the character's pain as if it were our own. And so, episode 7's trailer delivers what it promised: shock, heartbreak, and the kind of emotional cliffhanger that lingers long after the screen goes dark. This is not just a breakup, it is a turning point. A moment that could redefine the future of every character, every relationship, and every fragile dream that has been built over the summer. The heartbreak may feel final, but the story is far from over. And as fans, all we can do is wait, hope, and prepare ourselves for the storm that is about to come. But just when fans thought the storm had passed, the trailer hinted at yet another heartbreaking twist, something that could change everything we believed about Jeremie's future. In one of the final flashes, his voice cracks as he says, "I don't think I can do this anymore." The weight of those words is crushing. Is this just the breakup with Belly, or is Jeremie ready to walk away from everything, even the friendships that once defined his summer world? This shocking possibility leaves fans gasping because it suggests that his role in the love triangle might finally end, but not in the way anyone expected. Instead of fighting for love, is Jeremie about to give up on it completely? That single line shakes the foundation of what we thought season 3 was building toward. At the same time, another moment from the trailer adds fuel to the fire. We see Jeremie sitting alone at the beach, watching Conrad and Belly from a distance. The look in his eyes is not just sadness, it's devastation mixed with defeat. It feels like he's realizing that no matter how hard he tries, he will always be the second choice. For Jeremie, who once believed he could win Belly's heart, this is the ultimate heartbreak. Fans are left torn. Do they root for him to fight back, or do they accept that this might truly be the end of his journey with her? The ambiguity is brutal, and that's what makes the trailer so powerful, but the creators aren't just playing with romance here, they're playing with loyalty, with sacrifice, and with the painful truth that sometimes, love alone isn't enough. Jeremie's shocking breakup is not just about two people splitting apart. It's about the collapse of trust, the unraveling of promises, and the reminder that even the strongest connections can fracture when emotions become too heavy to carry. By the time the trailer ends, one thing is clear: Jeremie's story will no longer be just about love, it will be about survival. Survival of his heart, his dignity, and his place in a world where nothing feels certain anymore. The cliffhanger is cruel but genius. Fans can't stop replaying the trailer, dissecting every second, searching for clues about whether Jeremie's breakup is final, or if the writers are saving one last twist for the finale. Could he still rise from the ashes of heartbreak, or is this truly the end of his summer romance? With the way this series thrives on emotional roller coasters, nothing is guaranteed. The only thing we know for sure is that Jeremie's shocking breakup has changed everything, and the ripple effects will carry far beyond episode 7, setting up a finale that promises to be unforgettable.